is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirts, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to you with another playoff prediction for the Western Conference. Today we're going to talk about Denver Nuggets versus the San Antonio Spurs. If I was Denver, I'd rather have the Clippers or somebody else. I just feel like this is a matchup that really going to push Denver. They have fell off a little bit lately, offensively and defensively. And we all know that Greg Popovich is a master of the X and the O, getting great opportunities for his team, his players, every single possession, whether it's pick and roll or moving the ball or collapsing the defense or probing with DeMar DeRozan. I just feel like this is the wrong matchup for Denver just because of personnel and fit and matchups. I feel like the Spurs match up well against Denver, and the fact that they ain't the team that they was going the first 3 months of the season, they came back down to earth. I think this is going to be a tough, hard-fought series when you have two all-star caliber players like DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge surrounded by players like Bertans, Patty Mills, Derek Wright has been amazing, and you still have people like Bryn Forbes and Jakob Poeltl and Rudy Gay and Marco Bellinelli. This is just not the matchup they will want. But what I will say is this is going to be a test for Denver, and they have to look at it that way. They have come back down to earth. They have shown that they're defeatable. They bleed and they're human, and I think that has been horrible seeing this, how they have collapsed. But when you look at this series, to me, it's just all about who wants it more. And I think Denver, they have a lot of guys that have that edge, and they have a lot of guys that have that hustle in them. And I think they're going to get pushed in this series. I definitely think Denver will win in 6. I definitely don't think it'll be a sweep, and I definitely don't think it'll be a gentleman's sweep. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth execution game, especially in the fourth quarter, and that's going to be the question. Can they get quality shots? Can they get out there and get buckets? Who they going to rely on to get buckets? Who going to step up? Paul Millsap, to me, is the X factor. He's getting paid the most money, I believe, on this team, and he hasn't really had an all-star caliber season the 2 years that he's been in Denver. Not even a star caliber season with Denver, and they paid him a lot of money. But I think he is a big X factor because his ability to create shots for himself and for others and be able to get to the paint and collapse the defense, post up, and sometimes hit threes, giving them that stretch forward that they thought he would be. Gary Harris and Jamal Murray, I think this is going to really test them because the Spurs do have wing defenders at that perimeter spot and Derek Wright, and then they can throw Bryn Forbes out there and other guys that can really make it tough for Gary Harris and Jamal Murray to create with their scoring and playmaking ability. I think the screens will matter more because they can get easier opportunities for these guys, but will they be able to get clean looks because how hard the Spurs play and how well Greg Popovich and the coaching staff prepare? I think shot creation is going to be this series of Achilles heels. Who can create shots and who can get quality shots in the fourth quarter? And it's hard to bet against Greg Popovich, but I just don't think they have enough. I feel like the Spurs definitely was going to be a playoff team, even though a lot of people counted them out. And I do think this is just not a good matchup stylistically and, matchup-wise. They have the bigs, they have the space, and they have the perimeter players. They have 2 all-star caliber players that can really eat them up because Gary Harris is small. Jamal Murray is big for a point guard, but he's not that athletic. And I think that Derek Wright being 6'4", and then you still have 6'7", DeMar DeRozan that can play the 2 or the 3, while still having Bryn Forbes that can knock down threes and stay with the defenders. and defend Jamal Murray very well. I just feel like the Spurs can, out-execute them. And I just want to know if Denver, how hard will this push them? This is a series that I think they really do need because if they win this series, it just gives them more confidence that they can beat anybody going into the second round. But I just think Denver will figure out a way to win this series. I think they really want to prove that they're the real deal. And once they play the first two games in Denver, I think they'll get a type of feel of how the series is going to go and what they need to do to win it. But will they make the adjustments? Will they make the proper decisions and execution in these games to go up 2-0 or at least 1-1? You want to have a 2-0 lead and take your home court when you have the advantage, but it's going to be tough against the Spurs. But one thing I will say is this is the Western Conference, and for them to be the number one and number two seed damn near the whole season, they have to win this series because they didn't make the playoffs the last 2 years, and they finally made it, and they had one of the most powerful seasons because they were so great, and they won over 50 games, and they finished second in the West. But they almost lost that second place. So I really want to see how they approach the series. Them going into this game on the down low, I think that they really want to go out there and show that they do deserve this spot. And I think this is the series for them to really break out and show that they're a serious contender. If they don't, and if they struggle, it don't really look well for Jamal Murray and Gary Harris because it just shows you that they might not be good enough to get this team to the championship level that they're trying to get with this type of core, even with or without Paul Millsap. But they definitely need people to step up. What I mean by that, they're others. We already know what their starting lineup can do. Can Malik Beasley, can Isaiah Thomas, and the other guys like Will Barton, can they have big series? Can they give you 10 to 15 points off the bench consistently, even if it's one of them doing it every game throughout the series? Because we know the Spurs bench is going to show up, especially with Greg Popovich being as serious and as motivated as he ever been this year. I think Denver needs a challenge like this. I look at it as a blessing in disguise because if they really have a fight in a hard series as we think it will be, that's just going to be a confidence builder going into the next series. But this is some people feel like Jokic is the All NBA first center, and if not number two, and he was in top 5 in the MVP race, and he is averaging 20 and 10 for this season. So this is a breakout for him. He already had an All-Star caliber season. The NBA is where legends are made. And if he's going to be one of the best centers in the world, this is the perfect time to show it is in the playoffs. Same with Jamal Murray, who felt he should have been an all-star. They feel like they're one of the best backcourts in the NBA. Paul Millsap has already been in deep playoff runs with the Atlanta Hawks with Mike Budenholzer, so he already knows what it is to win. He already knows what it takes as an all-star caliber player himself. And I feel like that will help them because he has had a big game, too, in the playoffs when he was going against, I believe it was the Wizards. So at the end of the day, I really want to see this series. I really want to see Denver get pushed. I really want to see how they, battle the ugliness. Can they really take the blowout? Can they really take the punch to the mouth? Can they really go out there and come back? Can they really go out there and really rely on their offense to carry them and their defense to step back up to where it was 2 months ago? Can they handle controversy? Losing one game? How do they rebound? How do they really go, if they up 2-0? How do they find a way to close out the series? These are legitimate questions because at the end of the day, we never seen this core in the playoffs. So I think it's just more of them going out there, proving to themselves that they are one of the best teams in the West, and this is a challenge that they must accept. And now that they have it, I want to see how they really resist, how they really fight, how they really handle adversity, and this is the perfect series to do this. But I definitely think that X factors are Derek White and Patty Mills. I think those guys are going to really show out and really try to do what they can as players that's really relied upon right now for the Spurs as shot creators and floor spacers. I really want to see what they do. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan he doesn't have the best reputation in the playoffs. He flops, and even some games this year he has not been able to hit the game-winning shots or take over enough in the fourth quarters. Will he try to close games? Will LaMarcus Aldridge be more aggressive? Sometimes he can be passive. Sometimes he can settle. And sometimes he can be unstoppable. What type of LaMarcus Aldridge is you going to get against Denver? I think that's a legitimate question for DeMar and LaMarcus. Will they be neutralized? Will they be dominant? Will they show that they still some of the best players at their position? How will Jakob Poeltl play? That's a legitimate question because he's a guy that can give you 5 to 10 to 12 points with a couple rebounds and some blocks. What would he do in his minutes? Because they need him to step up. What is Brand Forbes going to do? He's been a perfect fit alongside DeMar DeRozan, but he is a little one-dimensional. But he can catch fire and get hot and make some big plays. Bertans, what is he going to bring to the table? I think that's a legitimate question because they're going to need him. Rudy Gay, will he step up and be a guy that can help them in the fourth quarter get tough shots and get buckets in the post or in the mid-range, creating his own shot? And will they team? Both of these teams are very high in assists. They play together. Who gonna break? Who gonna step up? Who gonna knock down threes? Who's gonna really get the offense going? I think these teams are more balanced than people think. I don't think Denver is the overwhelming team like a Golden State versus the Clippers. I think this is a game, and I think this is a series where I don't think the talent gap is that deep. I just feel like DeMar and LaMarcus could have played better than what they did this season. And they played good, but not elite. And I want to see what type of duo you get out of these. Will Jamal Murray and Jokic show up? Will Jokic and Paul Millsap show up? Or will the whole team play like they played the first 3 months of the season? Or will they continue to play the type of basketball that makes me think the Spurs can actually probably beat Denver? And you don't want to say that when you're number 2 seed. But you also got to respect your opponent. And when you look at it that way, I think this is a fair series. And I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be gritty. And I think execution in the fourth quarter going to matter the most. I don't really see that many blowouts because neither team are elite defensive teams at this point. Neither teams are really elite offensive teams either. And no team really has a closer. So I think it's going to be all about getting the quality shots, who's going to make the shots, and who's going to step up when it matters most. And that's where the legends are made. That's where the stars are born. And this is the biggest stage, which is the playoffs. I got Denver winning in 6 because I feel like the talent gap isn't that big, but I still feel like Jokic really wants it. I think Paul Millsap is going to show you why he was an all-star. And I feel like Jamal Murray, he loves the big moments. And I think he's going to go out there and try to be that perimeter guy that they need to create shots. And that pick and roll with him and Jokic is nasty. Plus, you got guys like hustle guys like Plumlee, and you got Malik Beasley who gets the crowd going crazy. And we might even see Isaiah Thomas game where he might get double digits and really help them close out a game. And you also have other players that can step up throughout this series to give them 6 to 10 points every once in a while. And that might be just enough to beat the Spurs. I do have a lot of questions for Denver, and hopefully they answer it. I did not have them finishing number 2 coming into the season. That's why I'm so impressed that they was able to do it. But they haven't been playing that type of basketball no more. So Denver fans, I'm just being real. They ain't the same team that was number 1 in the West 3 months ago. They're a different team. But with the playoffs starting and them barely clinging on to that number 2 spot, I want to see how they handle the adversity. Will they give up on each other? Will they get frustrated with each other? Or will they go out there and push, believe, and stay with each other and play as a team? They have enough to win this series. The coaching is good. I feel like they have the better talent, but I feel like the Spurs are just playing a little bit better together as they keep trying out new players and finding new chemistry. I feel like Denver and San Antonio are both at the same spot right now. But I think Denver should find a way to get it done. Let me know what you guys think. Who will win, Denver or San Antonio? Will it go 7? Will it go 6? Or will Denver just go out there and annihilate them? Or will the Spurs pull the upset, which a lot of people think they might? But it's a lot of There's a lot of people that didn't expect the Spurs to make it to the playoffs this year, and they have become not even the 8th seed this year. They had a chance to finish 5th, but they kept losing at the end too. So they both teams in the same situation, and I want to see what team is going to pull out the most, and I want to just go with Denver. So check out my website at NasaPlayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page at NasaPlayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook. Thanks for everybody that shows support for the movement of me doing this. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching. That's why I continue to go. I make playoff predictions just like this. NBA breakdowns, NBA tribute, NBA rookie analysis, summer league, NBA draft, free agency, buyouts, and even a trade deadline. I cover all things NBA. So if you like this video, you like the NBA, come subscribe and be a part of the family because I make videos every day and I cover all things NBA as much as I can. by myself, but with the help of y'all supporting the movement, buying merchandise, and continuing to like, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate it. I love it. And at the end of the day, more playoff previews and predictions coming up. Quinn Wade, that's what